London had always been a city where millions of people crossed paths every single day, yet most of them remained strangers forever. Busy streets, crowded cafes, packed underground trains. Everyone was rushing somewhere. No one expected that one small golden retriever would change two lives forever. It was a cool autumn evening in Hyde Park. The trees glowed with shades of orange and gold, while a gentle breeze carried fallen leaves across the walking paths. 23-year-old Emma Brooks had just finished another long day at work. Emma was a children's book illustrator who worked for a small publishing company near Kensington. She loved drawing, reading fantasy novels, and spending quiet afternoons in cafes with a sketchbook. Her friends often teased her because she smiled at every dog she passed on the street. If I could, she always joked, I'd adopt every dog in London. That evening, she walked through Hyde Park wearing an oversized beige sweater, relaxed trousers, white sneakers, and round glasses that kept slipping down her nose whenever she looked at her sketchbook. She sat on her favorite bench beside the lake. It was her place to relax before going home. She pulled out her pencil, but before she could begin drawing, she heard frantic barking. A beautiful golden retriever came running between the trees. Its soft golden fur was slightly muddy. Its breathing was heavy. It looked frightened. The dog stopped a few feet away from Emma. Instead of running past her, it simply sat down, looking straight into her eyes. Emma slowly smiled. Hey there, she carefully held out her hand. The dog walked closer. Its tail wagged gently. Within seconds, it rested its head on her lap as if it had known her forever. Emma laughed softly. Well, I guess we've already become friends. She looked around the park. There was no owner, no one calling for the dog. Only the sound of distant traffic and rustling leaves. As Emma gently stroked the dog's neck, she noticed something unusual. Around its neck was an old blue leather collar. Attached to it was a tiny folded piece of paper. Curious, she unfolded it. The note contained only one sentence. Please don't leave him alone. Nothing else, no phone number, no address, no name. Emma frowned. That's strange. She checked the other side of the collar. Blank, no identification tag. The mystery made her uneasy. Who would let a dog wander around London with only that message? Just then, the dog suddenly stood up. It looked toward the far end of the park. For a moment, Emma thought someone had finally come to collect him. But no one was there. The dog took a few steps, then looked back at Emma, almost as if it wanted her to follow. Emma laughed. You're not trying to take me somewhere, are you? The golden retriever barked once, then started walking. Curiosity got the better of her. She followed. For nearly 20 minutes, the dog wandered through winding paths, crossed a small stone bridge, and stopped outside an old red telephone box near the park entrance. It sniffed the ground, looked around, then quietly sat down. Waiting, Emma looked around. Still no one. She knelt beside the dog. Who are you waiting for? The dog rested its head against her shoulder. Its eyes looked sad, as though it had been waiting for someone for a very long time. Emma's heart melted. She couldn't leave him alone. Meanwhile, on the other side of London, 24-year-old Noah Bennett was driving through the rain with worry written all over his face. Noah was a young architect who had recently started his own design studio. Calm, thoughtful, and kind, he rarely panicked. But tonight was different. His aunt's beloved golden retriever had disappeared during a sudden thunderstorm the night before. They had searched everywhere: animal shelters, vet clinics, neighborhood parks. Nothing. Noah blamed himself. He had forgotten to latch the garden gate properly. If anything happened to the dog, he knew his aunt would be heartbroken. His phone rang. It was his aunt. Any news? Noah sighed. Not yet, but I promise I'll bring him home. After ending the call, Noah noticed a volunteer pinning up fresh lost dog posters on a community notice board. He parked his car and walked over. The poster showed a smiling golden retriever. Under the picture was a name. Milo, last seen near Hyde Park. Noah's heart skipped a beat. He immediately grabbed one of the posters and ran back to his car. At the same time, Emma sat beside the dog on the old park bench. The sky was turning dark. Streetlights flickered on one by one. She looked down at the golden retriever sleeping peacefully with his head resting against her leg. "You can't stay here all night," she whispered gently. "I'll help you find your family." The dog opened one eye, as if he understood every word. Neither Emma nor Noah had any idea that by this time tomorrow, their lives were about to cross because of one lost dog. And neither of them would ever be the same again. The next morning, a soft layer of fog covered Hyde Park. The city was slowly waking up. Joggers ran along the pathways. Cyclists passed by. The smell of fresh coffee drifted from a nearby cafe. Emma hadn't gone home. She had taken Milo to a nearby 24-hour veterinary clinic to make sure he wasn't injured. Thankfully, he was healthy. But the veterinarian scanned his microchip and frowned. "I'm sorry," he said. "This chip was never registered." Emma was surprised. "How is that possible?" The vet shrugged. "Someone wanted this dog to stay anonymous." Those words made the mystery even stranger. Just as Emma stepped outside the clinic with Milo, she heard someone shouting from across the street. "Milo." The golden retriever instantly lifted his ears. His tail began wagging wildly. A tall young man ran toward them, holding several lost dog posters. He had messy dark brown hair, light stubble, and wore a dark green jacket over a black hoodie. His face looked exhausted, as if he hadn't slept all night. The moment Milo saw him, he ran straight into his arms. The young man knelt down and hugged him tightly. "There you are, buddy. I've been looking everywhere for you." Emma smiled with relief. "So, you're his owner?" The man shook his head. "No, I'm Noah Bennett. Milo belongs to my aunt." He stood up and offered a grateful smile. "And you must be the person who found him." Emma nodded. "I'm Emma." For a second, neither of them spoke. Then Noah laughed softly. "I don't know how to thank you." Emma smiled. "Maybe start with buying me a coffee?" Noah grinned. "Deal." An hour later, the three of them sat outside a small cafe near Hyde Park. Milo happily slept beneath the table while Noah and Emma talked. They discovered they were almost the same age. Emma was 23. Noah was 24. Both had grown up in London. Both loved quiet places more than crowded ones. The conversation felt surprisingly easy, as if they had known each other much longer than an hour. Before leaving, Emma handed Noah the folded note she had found on Milo's collar. "I think this belongs to you." Noah unfolded it. His smile disappeared. "I've never seen this before." Emma looked confused. "What do you mean?" "My aunt would never write something like this." They both stared at the tiny message. "Please, don't leave him alone." Noah slowly looked down at Milo. "Who put this on your collar?" Curious, they drove to Noah's aunt's house together. Mrs. Margaret Bennett immediately burst into tears when she saw Milo. She hugged him tightly. "My sweet boy, I was so worried." After thanking Emma again and again, she examined Milo's collar. Her expression suddenly changed. This isn't his collar." Emma and Noah looked at each other. "What?" Mrs. Bennett pointed toward the blue leather collar. "Milo always wears a red one." "I've never seen this blue collar before." A strange silence filled the room. If this wasn't Milo's collar, who had changed it? And why? That evening, Emma and Noah carefully searched every inch of the collar. At first, nothing, then Emma noticed something stitched inside the leather. Very tiny letters, almost impossible to see. She held it closer to the light. "It says A.L. Noah frowned. "Those aren't my aunt's initials." Emma quickly searched online. Hundreds of names appeared, nothing useful. Then Noah had an idea. What if A.L. isn't the owner's name? What if it's a place? The next morning, they visited several old pet stores and veterinary clinics around London. No one recognized the collar. Hours passed. Just as they were about to give up, an elderly shopkeeper in Notting Hill looked closely at the blue collar. His eyes widened. "I've seen this before." Emma and Noah leaned forward. "You have?" The old man nodded. "Many years ago, I repaired this exact collar for an elderly gentleman. He used to come here every month with his golden retriever." Emma's heart raced. "Do you remember his name?" The shopkeeper smiled sadly. "Of course. His name was Arthur Lewis." Noah immediately looked at the initials inside the collar. A.L. It matched. "But where does he live?" Emma asked. The shopkeeper's smile slowly faded. "I'm afraid he passed away a few months ago." Emma and Noah exchanged a confused glance. If Arthur Lewis had died, then who placed his collar on Milo? And who wrote the mysterious note? Before leaving, the old shopkeeper handed them a small folded map. Arthur used to walk his dog every Sunday. He always ended his walk at the same place. Emma unfolded the map. A red circle marked one location: Primrose Hill. Noah looked at Emma. "I think we've just found our next clue." Emma smiled. "Then let's finish what someone started." As Milo stood up and wagged his tail, it almost looked like he already knew exactly where they were going. The next morning, a soft sunrise painted the London sky with shades of orange and pink. Emma, Noah, and Milo arrived at Primrose Hill, carrying the old map they had found. The hill overlooked the London skyline. It was peaceful, beautiful, exactly the kind of place someone would return to again and again. Milo suddenly became excited. His tail wagged rapidly as he pulled gently on his leash. "Easy, boy," Noah laughed. But Milo wasn't interested in slowing down. He ran toward an old wooden bench beneath a large oak tree. The bench looked ordinary, until Emma noticed a small brass plaque attached to it. It read, "In loving memory of Arthur Lewis, who believed every lonely heart deserves a friend." Emma smiled sadly. So this was his favorite place. Milo sat quietly in front of the bench. He didn't bark. He didn't move. He simply stared at it, almost as if he was waiting for someone who would never return. Noah knelt beside him and gently stroked his head. "I think he misses Arthur." Just then, an elderly woman approached, carrying a basket of flowers. She smiled warmly when she saw Milo. "I wondered when he'd come back." Emma and Noah looked at each other. "You know him?" Emma asked. The woman nodded. "My name is Evelyn. I was Arthur's neighbor for nearly 15 years. She sat beside them on the bench. I've been expecting someone." Emma carefully showed her the blue collar and the mysterious note. Evelyn smiled through tears. "Arthur wrote that." Both Emma and Noah leaned forward. "He did?" She nodded. "Arthur lost his wife many years ago. After that, Milo became his only family. But Arthur always believed dogs had a special gift. They could sense lonely hearts. He used to say, 'People may hide their sadness from the world, but never from a dog.'" Evelyn took a deep breath before continuing. "When Arthur became seriously ill, he knew he didn't have much time left. He asked me to do one final favor." She looked at Milo with a gentle smile. "He told me, after I'm gone, let Milo choose where he wants to go. If he finds two kind people willing to care for him, tell them life is too short to walk alone." Emma felt tears forming in her eyes. So the note wasn't asking someone to save Milo. Evelyn smiled. No, it was asking someone not to leave each other alone. Silence filled the hill. Even the wind seemed to pause. Noah looked at Emma, then at Milo. He smiled. "I think he found exactly who Arthur hoped he would." Emma laughed softly. "I think you're right." Milo happily placed one paw on Emma's shoe and the other on Noah's. The three of them laughed. Over the next few weeks, Emma and Noah met almost every day. Sometimes they walked Milo through Hyde Park. Sometimes they visited little cafes around Notting Hill. Sometimes they sat by the River Thames talking until the city lights reflected across the water. They discovered they had far more in common than either of them expected. Both loved quiet mornings. Both collected old books. Both believed that the smallest moments often became the most unforgettable memories. Without realizing it, friendship slowly became love. One rainy evening, nearly a year after they first met, Noah invited Emma back to Hyde Park. "The same bench?" she asked. "The same bench," he smiled. When they arrived, tiny fairy lights hung from the trees. The path was lined with candles and glass lanterns. Milo sat patiently beside the bench, wearing a brand new blue collar. This time, there was a silver tag attached to it. Emma picked it up. It read, "Thank you for bringing them together." Before she could turn around, Noah was already on one knee. He held a small velvet ring box in his hands. He smiled nervously. "I spent months wondering how to thank the woman who saved a lost dog. But the truth is, you didn't just save Milo. You found me too." Emma covered her mouth as tears filled her eyes. Noah continued, "Every beautiful thing in my life started the day you stopped to help a frightened dog. So, will you spend the rest of your life walking beside me?" Emma laughed through her tears. "There isn't another place I'd rather be." She whispered, "Yes," as Noah slipped the ring onto her finger. Milo barked happily. People walking through the park smiled and applauded. An elderly couple even clapped as they passed. The moment felt magical. As if somewhere, Arthur Lewis was smiling too. 6 months later, Emma and Noah were married in a small outdoor ceremony in Hyde Park. Family, close friends, and one very important guest. Milo, he proudly walked down the aisle carrying the wedding rings around his neck. Everyone laughed as he wagged his tail like he knew he was the real reason everyone was there. Years later, Emma and Noah opened a cozy dog-friendly bookstore and cafe near Hyde Park. At the entrance stood a framed photo of Milo lying on the same bench where everything had begun. Under the picture was a simple sentence. Sometimes, the one who's lost isn't the dog. Sometimes, it's two hearts waiting to find each other. And every customer who asked about the photograph left believing one thing. The greatest love stories don't always begin with a first date. Sometimes, they begin with one lost dog.